This young girl is a racist. So is he. And all of them born racist.
Okay, so you might be wondering what's that about? This is not like one second grader with a great high def camera and too much time on his hands slamming his classmates. It's a CRT thing, you know it's a CRT thing. So we're gonna play the entirety of this political ad for you and then tell you about the guy who thinks identifying a little girl and saying she's a racist is a great way to get into office.
This young girl is a racist. So is he. And all of them born racist. The radical left calls this critical race theory. It claims America is systemically racist and demand this be taught to our children.
Not when I'm governor. I'm Dave White, and I'll never let CRT be taught in our classrooms. I believe the best way to unite and inspire all of our kids is to teach them about all that is great about America.
America.
What are your thoughts?
I loved every second of that, actually. I love the fact that it starts out cold open. This girl is a racist. I mean, she could be, maybe, I don't know. But they were just like, just forget this kid. She's a racist. But and then I like that they show like a school board meeting where
poor girl.
Sorry, those racist kids. Where they show the school board meeting where the parents are protesting against CRT and they imply that they're like angry, like arguing that it should be in schools. It's
oh my God, you're right. You're so right. I didn't even notice that. Like, so they not only made up that it's being taught there and made up what it is that it would be if it were being taught. They're making up some sort of groundswell of leftist Karens insisting you teach. This little girl doesn't know that she's a racist. You teach my daughter. She's a racist. Oh my God.
It's like really funny to me. I studied critical race theory. I'm still studying it in law school. Like the idea that kindergartners are capable of understanding what critical race theory is deeply, deeply ridiculous. But I mean, of course, it's just become a catch-all term for my child saw a black person. And that's critical race theory. That's the wokes taking over and indoctrinating our children. Like,
yeah,
ridiculous.
The whole thing is just so sad. Like, can we go to this first shot? Because who is the sort of person that would make this the entirety of their political ad? Well, it's this guy. It's Dave White, conservative for governor. We can go to that. We got it. Yeah, he just looks. He looks like how he should look, honestly. And I don't just mean that his last name is literally White. He so opposes racial education that his last name is White. No, he looks like a guy who's like, man, I always kind of thought about running for office, but I guess this is what our party is now. Yeah, no, this is the entirety of their party. And look, I would love to say that I am willing to admit when there is more to something. I went to his website. Go to the website. Like so many politicians these days, there's no issues tab because there aren't any. There's CRT. That's what they're all trying to do, the Glenn Youngkin thing, where they just compete with each other to say, I hate CRT more than the last person. And by the way, this is happening in an oppositional way too. If we could just go to this, I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but it's a fascinating article about a Republican primary happening in Nebraska. The gubernatorial primary. There's Jim Pillen and Charles Herbster just yelling at each other that the other supports CRT and they don't. It's two Republicans. Neither of them accepts racism. Both of them are proud to talk about their black friends, and yet they're fighting with each other about who hates CRT more. This is no way to run a party, Rayyvana.
Oh no, I mean it's like so comical. The Democrats, of course, fall for it. That's an example of like a Republican primary. But I mean, we saw in Virginia, right? Once you accept the Republican framing of the issue, now you are never going to come out on top because once you agree to like that the issue is CRT and that's something that needs to be discussed. Now that's the issue, and now you're going to have a really hard time focusing on the things that you actually care about and you actually want to campaign on, and people that are real, things that are real, as opposed to critical race theory, which is not being taught in K through 12 schools. It's not even being taught in most undergrad classes. postgraduate degrees.
I spent 5 years in a PhD program and I was never taught it. But of course they mean any acknowledgement of racism, do not teach American history. Certainly do not talk about how we still have these massive systemic problems. That's all it's about. And so that's Dave White, who with this awesome political agenda that he supports has raised $3.35 million. Now, despite that, all of the polling I've seen in that race, including from just a couple of weeks ago, doesn't even list him as a candidate. So maybe it's just a big waste of several $1 million, or maybe he'll be an elected politician soon.
I hope he loses. That's really funny if he raised all that money and now, it raised, what does that mean? Got it from donors. If he's not even in the polling, I highly doubt that any of that is grassroots funding. But
or maybe the joke will be on us, Ray, and a new poll will come out in a week, and because of ads like this, he'll be at 40%. God only knows.
I do hope that he zoomed in on a little girl's face and called her racist for an ad just to not even place in the election.
I think his stump speech, he should bring the kids and he should just point at them. That girl's a racist. That boy, huge misogynist.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.